Hey guys, this is going to be part 2 of the GP2X Wiz review, where we're going to be checking out some of the emulators. So let's jump right in here. Because a lot of my viewers come from Play the NES, we're going to be checking out the NES emulator first, which is GPFCE. And you see there's a nice looking screen there. Plenty of options for scaling, sound rate, gamma correction, clock speed. I usually crank it up a little bit, that way there's not a whole lot of slowdown or anything. Overclock it to about 700 megahertz. Save that as default. Let's load a ROM. Let's see. Take it NES Johnny will probably be watching this, so we'll check out Shatterhand real quick. As you can see, it loads up good and fast. Once again, we'll increase our volume down here. Speakers are good and loud, as you can tell. I'll probably be kind of sucking at this because I'm kind of playing it through the viewfinder on my camera rather than the system itself. Now, I hope one of the things that you guys can see is that the black levels on here are more authentic than the regular black levels are on a regular handheld, and that's due to the organic LED display on here. As you can see, it's running smooth, audio scaling fine. There's, no hiccups in the sound. Everything's moving smooth as far as your scrolling and everything goes. So overall, that's pretty good. Now, to load another game on here, you hold volume up and down at the same time. Another nice thing about this, you can use your shoulder buttons on this emulator to move quickly through your game list. And as you can see, I loaded up a heck of a collection. One of the nice things about this emulator, Castlevania 3 is fully working, which seems to be one of those trouble games for a lot of people. And default configuration, your two bottom buttons, X and B, are your B and A buttons on your Nintendo, and then the buttons above operate like turbo buttons. So that's it for this emulator. Let's check out something else. Such as MAME. Everyone loves a good arcade emulator, and MAME is one of the best. Let's load up a personal favorite of mine. Go back up. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love the arcade version of this. Goes through the RAM and ROM check, and the reason why I chose this one has a fairly fast ROM check. There's plenty of options in MAME to scale the game if the scaling is a little off on the screen. Crank up the volume a little bit. Select inserts your coin. Starts your one-player input. Audio in this game is a little off. Hope you guys can see that decently. This camera's not the best in the world. Now, as you can see here, the game's running really smooth and everything. Well, I'm not playing too well through the viewfinder, that's for sure. The audio is a little glitchy, but, I mean, still listenable. The game is still playable overall. Holding down L and R pauses it, which is a nice feature. Add start and menu to that, and you back out of the emulator. So we'll load up one more real quick here. Here's a favorite of mine, R-Type. get through its ROM and RAM checks real quick. Now, as you can see, I did this intentionally. The scaling is a bit off on R-Type. However, you can fix that. Select it again, go into video aspect, and hit R to set the scale, which is a little slower whenever you do that. But the nice thing, whenever you set up the scale, is that it will stretch it to fit the screen, or in this case, smush it to fit the screen. And once again, the audio seems to be a hair bit off. Turn it up to where you can kind of tell. Those are some loud speakers too, aren't they? So the audio is a little off on quite a few of the main games. Not all of them, but a lot of my favorites, the audio seems to be off. But it is a workable solution, and the audio is listenable. So it works out quite well. And we... Oops. Back out of our emulator here, or attempt to. There we go. Another cool one, in my opinion, is Pico Drive, which is both the Genesis and the Sega CD emulator. That's right, if you set up your ISOs in the right way, this thing can handle Sega CD. Scroll up here real quick, and we'll actually demo a Sega CD game. Now, you have to have it in ISO plus MP3 mode. So, more or less, your MP3s have to be in there with the ISO for the game to have audio. At least in the versions I've tried. I've tried Lunar, and just a straight CD rip didn't have audio. Just had sound effects. Crank up, well, it's about as loud as it gets, which is kind of disappointing, but the audio is going. I don't know if you can hear it or not. As you can see, the Sega CD, it looks beautiful on here. It does a great job emulating the Sega CD. Now the Genesis, it seems to be an easy system to emulate. A lot of people get the Genesis emulation pretty quick whenever an open source handheld comes out. But Sega CD seems to take a while. However, it looks pretty flawless on this. Unfortunately, there is 32X support as well, but it's not quite as good. We'll load up 32X, and we'll even load up something easy like WWF Raw. And nothing, as you can see, which is kind of odd, because you think that'd be an easier game to emulate, you know, 2D and all that. We'll try Star Wars 32X, or Star Wars Arcade. As you can see, it loads, but it's rather sluggish. It's not exactly playable by any means. I'll go ahead and resume, that way we can get in the gameplay maybe. Yeah, you can already hear the sound kind of lagging.
Attention, all wing pilots. Stand by to
Now, it's nice to have it supported, but there's some serious lag on the 32X side. However, it does work, for the most part. Okay, might have time in this video to hit one or two more emulators. Wonder what y'all would like to see here. How about Pocket SNES? Select a game on here. I've got a 16 gig card on here, so I've got like tons and tons of games to play on here. It's really nice. Let's see, we'll load up. Let's see. I don't know why I'm taking so long to select the game for a review. Legend of Zelda, that's a good one. You see the polygonal Triforce coming in. Works out well. There's a frames per second counter in the corner. I haven't figured out how to get rid of that yet. And we're not really going to save this, so... As you can see, the oval opening works well. I've seen some emulators kind of goof that up a little bit. And I believe the Super Nintendo emulator, yeah, it's volume up and down at the same time to change. Most games work fine, however, there's some serious lag. One of the laggy ones I can tell you right now, and I was disappointed because this is a favorite of mine. Let me go over to it, if I have it on here. There it is, Kirby Superstar. Love this game. It is a really killer game on Super Nintendo, but it's got some lag in this version. It's not really playable, to be honest, which I was bummed out. I really like this game, but, you know, you can't have it all. Okay, let me hurry up and knock out one more emulator before I gotta end this due to the 15-minute time limit. We'll be going over homebrew somewhat later. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Game Boy Advance emulator. That's a good one to check out. The Game Boy Advance emulator is one of the best ones I've ever seen on here. It's a little slow to start up, probably due to the amount of ROMs I have in the folder, but once it starts up, I'm telling you, it is a killer little emulator. And so far, I haven't ran into any games that it hasn't been able to handle yet, which is frickin' sweet. Try to knock this one out real quick. Crank up the audio. This emulator, you can get the audio going like really loud. And as you can see, all the scaling is nice and smooth. The audio sounds good, no hiccups or anything in it. Oh, that was embarrassing. As you can see, it just looks great. Not an issue at all. The Game Boy Advance emulator, in my opinion, is probably one of the best emulators on here. And it shows just how much power this thing has. It does great. So, anyhow, that's it for this. Join back up with us in part 3, where we're going to be going over a few more of the emulators, and if there's time, we will get a head start on some of the homebrew applications and some of the PC ports that you can check out. And thanks for checking out this review. We'll see you for part 3.